Hello everybody, I'm SGSS and welcome to today's LEGO video where I will be reviewing the brand new 2021 Luke Skywalker's X-Wing. Let's check this thing out. As always, if you're new to the channel, welcome to SGSS where we do all sorts of really fun things with Legos, Nerf guns, video games, and more. If you'd like to, please consider subscribing to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button down below and hitting that bell icon right next to it to be notified when we make new videos. Now, let's check out this awesome set. So as before mentioned in my introduction, in today's video we are going to be reviewing set 75301, Luke Skywalker's X-Wing fighter, which is brand new to 2021 in the January wave, which is super duper cool. Now, this particular set, as well as the TIE fighter that kind of is its counterpart, particularly caught my attention because they are kind of a budget series. And basically, to kind of explain that all, this set by itself costs 50 United States dollars, which is what I believe to be a very reasonable price for what seems to be a fantastic looking set. 474 pieces, that seems to be about a good price per part ratio. Plus 4 minifigures, we get Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, General Dodonna, and R2-D2. And I would say for the most part, R2-D2 comes in a ton of sets, but these are somewhat highly desirable figures for a $50 set, which is absolutely fantastic. You can flip this around and see all of the little details here. Looks like we can put R2-D2 in his little compartment here. We press like a button or something on the top right here, and it'll unlock the S foils and put them into attack position. And it also comes with what looks to be the spring-loaded missiles. So let's go ahead and open up the box and check out what this has to offer. I was hoping I'd be able to use my overkill knife that I have here that I mostly open up pretty much everything, but it looks like we have these little push-in tabs, which are kind of weird, but let's see what we can do with them. Alright. Looks like we just open up the side over here, kind of just rip that open. I like cutting it open better with all the tape. So let's see here. That's bag 2. We get a decent amount of stickers, as we can see here. That's bag 4. Bag 1. Bag 3. And then the instruction manual. So it looks like we get, in total, 4 big bags here. A decent amount of stickers. And of course, the instruction manual to put it all together. So let's go ahead and build. In our first bag for minifigures, we get R2-D2 and Luke Skywalker. So, as you can see here, this is what we build in bag 1. In bag 2, we get Princess Leia and General Dodonna, which means that there are no minifigures for bag 3 or bag 4. So before I go ahead and attach this to the rest of the build, this is basically the mechanism that allows the wings to open and close, which overall is very, very intricate, and I can see it being very, very confusing for younger builders. Overall though, I am very, very impressed with the engineering of this thing. Super duper cool. So as you can see here, this is what we build for bag 2. We basically add onto it with the mechanism that opens up the S foils, and also I guess you can close them just by pushing them together. We'll see how that works later on, but we also add the back here and kind of just connect this whole entire thing together. The back is looking a little bit boxy, but I'm pretty sure we can fix that in a future mod. In bag 3, we build the bottom wings. So let's go ahead and take a look at the lineup of minifigures that we get here in this set. Starting off with R2-D2, there's not a whole lot to talk about here. It's always a nice inclusion to have in most Star Wars sets, especially since this is an X-Wing. Then we have Luke Skywalker in his orange jumpsuit, and I think he looks mighty fine. I absolutely admire the fact that they put so much detailing into these pilot figures, especially Luke Skywalker as well. I thought it was also kind of interesting as well how this figure that comes in the 2021 X-Wing is different from the figure that comes in the 2020 AT-AT. You can kind of see the difference on the torso and the legs right there. But it's always nice to see how much detail that they put into these figures. And of course, with that, it comes with the dual printed faces, so you can have the goggles on or the goggles off. You can just twist his head around. And then we get Princess Leia, which I think is an absolutely amazing inclusion in this set, especially considering the fact that she really only comes in one other set looking like this, and that is the Tantive 4, and that's a relatively pricey set. So it's an easy and cheap way to get Princess Leia. I absolutely love that they included her. And then, of course, probably the most controversial character in this entire set is General Dodonna. He doesn't really get a whole lot of screen time as far as I can remember, but it's a nice inclusion to have. And for his first set to be in, I think it's really nice. And overall, I really can't complain a whole lot about the figure. He looks absolutely amazing. And of course, he has a pretty decent amount of detailing as well. So overall, I definitely have to say that the amount of figures that we get here in this set for, $50, especially considering the fact that, we get what I would have to say pretty desirable figures, is absolutely fantastic. And overall, it just adds to the value of the set as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at what a $50 X-Wing has to offer. So basically, this is what you get. Now, at first glance, there are definitely some minor setbacks and inaccuracies here, but I do have to once again mention that this is a $50 X-Wing. And just like the TIE Fighter, I really appreciate the fact that LEGO came out with a cheaper version of these sets, and with buying them together, both the X-Wing and the TIE Fighter, you get a combined total of about $90 US, which is absolutely fantastic considering that's basically the price of Poe Dameron's X-Wing itself. So, of course, there are a couple of sacrifices that LEGO had to make. There are a couple of details that are missing and a couple of things that shouldn't be there. But overall, I really can't complain too much. You bought a $50 X-Wing, what else could you want, honestly? And, just taking a look at this thing, I definitely have to say I very much look forward to modifying this in a future video. So stay tuned for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at all the features that this thing has to offer. Starting with the front here, with the cockpit, you can open it and close it to allow access for Luke Skywalker to pilot the X-Wing. And really, it's a very bland cockpit for the most part. The only bit of detail that you're actually getting is this printed piece right here. So we'll go ahead and close that. Another thing that you can do is you can put R2-D2 on the inside right here. I've seen a lot of people complain about how much he sticks out, and I myself have to kind of agree with them. I think he sticks out a little too much compared to what would look normal, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of another feature that you can do. On the wings here on both sides, on the bottom, there are two spring-loaded missiles. So one here, one there. And those are always a fun detail and kind of a play feature that you can have as well. And of course, probably the biggest selling point of this X-Wing is the fact that you can unlock the S-foils and put them into attack position. So that is all achieved with this huge hunk of Technic brick right here. And really, I think that is probably the most admirable part of the building techniques for this entire set, just because it seems like such a complicated thing for such a simple task, but really they execute it so well. Of course, that does come with the sacrifice that right here, it doesn't really look too good. And now that I realize it, that's kind of a cracked part right there. But anyways, basically how this all works, you basically press this down and it will open up the wings. And if you want to kind of close them. Of course, you can close them together, or if you want to, you can kind of land it right here and it'll automatically close. And something that I really like about this is that it's a very fluid motion compared to past X-Wings where it was all, you know, held together kind of like by these rubber bands and stuff, and it just snapped close. And I really wasn't a big fan of that. But I really like how fluid this is, and honestly, it stays open for the most part. And then I guess kind of the last features that we get here are the landing gear, and my only complaints about it is it's stagnant. Like, honestly, I think the landing gear looks good, but it'd be nice if it'd be able to fold in, and I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be one of the first things I'm going to modify for this overall set. So you get a decent amount of playability for this, and overall the building process of it is very fun for the most part. As for a couple of details that are missing, I noticed that there's kind of like these T-pieces in previous sets that this one was kind of missing in the engines right here. So I think there should be some way to be able to accomplish this. It may require a couple of, you know, illegal building techniques, because really there's not a whole lot to work with on the inside right there. But yeah, overall, I think it looks very solid for the most part. I guess another complaint that people have had is that this looks very blocky right here. It's supposed to kind of have more of a, I don't know, some more of a shape to it instead of some sort of square part right there. And then I really like how these look back here with these pink translucent pieces. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. And I also think, I guess another thing people kind of complain about as well are the blaster cannons, but I think, you know, for what they are, they did a fantastic job. They look somewhat accurate for the most part. And if we want to go for accuracy, I'm pretty sure that we can be able to fit in some sort of modification to make it look a whole lot better. So now it all comes down to the question of, is this X-Wing worth it? And in my opinion, I definitely have to say yes. There are a couple of inaccuracies, there are a couple of issues, but overall what you're paying for is a very solid X-Wing, I feel like. And you know, $50 that I paid for on Lego.com is a very well justified price, I feel like. Especially considering you're getting very highly desirable figures, you're getting a pretty decent price per part ratio, and what I think is a very good looking X-Wing fighter for the most part. And probably one of the biggest reasons why I bought this is just because it has so much modification potential, just like the Razor Crest that we have modded previously. So really, if you were thinking about buying this for yourself, I highly recommend buying it. I think it's overall a fantastic set. Yeah, there are a couple of things wrong with it, but really, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons here. And so overall, I would have to give this set an 8 out of 10, just for it being such a solid set at a very good price, what I feel like. And you know, I really can't complain too much about it. I think this X-Wing is definitely worth it. Well everybody, that is going to be it for today's review video. I really hope you enjoyed watching, and if you did, please consider leaving a like down below. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button down below. I also hope today's video was also kind of helpful as well to help you decide whether or not you want to get this set for yourself. Also, I'd like to know down in the comment section below if you had any ideas of modifications or if you had your own thoughts or opinions about this set in particular. Also, I'm always open to constructive criticism down in the comments to help me improve the channel a little bit as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.